Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Impact Academy. Today, we'll be looking at history and specifically the Mughal Empire. In history, the Mughal Empire is a very important topic, and if you observe the previous questions, be it UPSC or APPSC, you'll see that a lot of questions have been asked from Mughal Empire very frequently. Because if you look at Mughal Empire, the number of topics to be covered are also very more. Because you have, for example, the Mansabdari system, which is again a large topic, which is frequently asked. And then you have art and architecture, etc., etc. You have Mughal paintings, which is famous. And it is during the Mughal period that the British also come to India and establish a factory at Surat. So there are several key landmark battles or many topics which need to be covered in the Mughal Empire. So let us today try to look at Mughal Empire, a brief of the Mughal Empire, and the session will be followed, or perhaps in another video. We have to look at the question and answers. So my suggestion would be you will read the topic. Okay, it's fine. You will read the topic, and always keep in mind that you are not supposed to do any PhD, especially when you're preparing for the competitive exams, because you are preparing so many subjects at a time. You have to keep in mind where to stop and how much depth you have to go. So we'll be looking at the most important points. I'll put it in a PDF, and more important than the PDF is the question and answers. So after going through the lecture, you have to immediately go through the question and answer section. So when you read something and immediately you do questions and answers related to it, then you will be able to understand it better. Excuse me. So that is when the topic will register in your mind properly. And these question and answer session, especially before the exam, if you are able to go through all these question and answer sessions again, that will be quite helpful for you before the exam. Okay, so let us start with the Mughal Empire. Okay, so let us start with the Mughal Empire. So as you can see here itself, we've seen how the dressing, etc., the Mughal Empire, and these are the buildings which are famous for the Mughal Empire. If you can see, it is completely made of red sandstone, and marble is also used. So that is one thing you have to remember. And frequently, I'll be talking about what is important from the point of view of exam, and that is obviously based on what kind of questions are frequently asked in the exam. And try to put more, because if you look at the content, there will be a lot of content. If you want to remember, you can remember a lot. But this is not the only subject, this is not the only chapter. We have so many subjects and so many chapters like this. So when I say something is important from the exam point of view, please try to remember it. Okay, if you try to remember it, and if there are sometimes what happens is, for example, you say various departments in the Mughal, then you have Diwani, Arz, etc., etc., and you have military commanders and various forts. So many names will be there. At least if you are able to remember 2 or 3, that is enough. It will help you in eliminating during answering the questions. So let us see. So in Mughal period, so if you look at the Mughal Empire and map and the location, you can see in the map here, this is the complete, what you say, the empire under Mughal Empire. This is the geographical area which they have covered. So you can see that more or less they have covered all of India except the southern part a little bit. As you can see, there is resistance from that period, and this was under Aurangzeb during the 1707. So you can see that it covers current day Pakistan, Bangladesh, parts of Afghanistan, etc. So India at that time, you can say the Indian subcontinent is not. This is the map of current India. So at that time, even Pakistan, Afghanistan, etc., this part was also part of India. And the Mughal Empire, when it first started, in this part. We will see that in the next slide. Okay. So see this. When we all know, more or less everyone know, is familiar that it is Babur who invaded India during the period of Lodi dynasty. The last emperor during the Lodi was Ibrahim Lodi. If you remember, the Lodi dynasty, the Delhi Sultanate, which we've already covered. So the Delhi Sultanate, last dynasty is the Lodi dynasty. It was founded by Bahlol Lodi, followed by Sikandar Lodi, and the last ruler of the Lodi dynasty is Ibrahim Lodi. So from the exam point of view, you have to remember this, the Battle of Panipat 1526. It will come later in the PDF. So the Battle of Panipat 1526 is a very landmark date and a landmark battle. Just like if I ask 2 plus 2 is 4. So similarly, anyone who is preparing for competitive exams, you have to have it in your mind that the Battle of Panipat 1526, it is that important. Next, in that battle, what happened was Babur, who was at that time, you could see in the map which I'm showing, he's somewhere here. So he was somewhere here. He was already a prince of a small kingdom. So he entered, he was requested by the governor of Ibrahim Lodi to come and attack India. So he came, and the governor's idea was, if you look at that time, several of these people like Muhammad Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori or Taimur, etc., all the previous invaders, they always used to invade and they used to loot the temples, everything, loot the wealth, and they used to go back. So what he had, the governor, is he thought that Babur would come, he would loot and go back. But what actually happened was he came and he stayed back and established a Mughal empire. So anyway, so during the time of Babur, this is the area which he has conquered. And later, during the time of Akbar, you can see that he had conquered more or less significant part of India. Okay. Then later, during the time of Aurangzeb, he had conquered completely, more or less the whole India was under the Mughal Empire. Okay. So, if you ask what is the timeline of Mughal Empire, you can say starting from 1526 to 1857. See, 1707 is where Aurangzeb death happens. But till up until 1857 immediately you have to remember the revolt, the Sepoy Mutiny, the first war of independence, etc., etc. The 1857 revolt, at that time the Mughal emperor was Bahadur Shah II, but he was just a nominal head. By that time the British had already taken control of everything. So he was just a nominal head, and so that was when the British Empire actually ended. But if you actually look at the history, after Aurangzeb was perhaps the last strong ruler, especially militarily he was strong, but his religious policy was very tough. So Aurangzeb, there are few emperors you have to remember from the exam point of view. If you look at the Tughlaq dynasty, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, again he imposed jizya, which is a tax on non-Muslims, and then it is followed by Sikandar Lodi also. So in the Tughlaq dynasty, Firoz Shah Tughlaq was very harsh on non-Muslims. Then again Sikandar Lodi of the Lodi dynasty, he is also very harsh on non-Muslims. And then you have Aurangzeb, who is also very harsh on the non-Muslims. So these points you have to remember from the exam point of view. Fine. So let us go to the next slide. So this is again same. You can see the extent. So initially the extent of Mughal Empire initially, and then how it expanded during Akbar time, during Aurangzeb time. So you can see slowly the Mughal Empire, which started in the northern part of India, has expanded to all of India. So now let us see a little bit. As I said, during the Lodi dynasty, Babur was invited to attack, and when Babur came, he came. You have to. This is very important. 1526, okay, and Battle of Panipat. So this is very important. When Babur came in 1526, there was Battle of Panipat, and after that battle, he founded the Mughal Empire. And under Akbar's rule, the Mughal Empire reached its height. So after Babur, you'll see the. Let me show you the Mughal family tree. You'll understand better. So look here. So if you look at the important rulers, first one is Babur. Okay, Babur's son is Humayun. Okay, yeah, these things more or less everyone knows because you would have seen during your school times. So it's just like a refresher for you. So Humayun, what happens is during the period of Humayun, during the Battle of Kannauj, he gets defeated by Sher Shah Suri. So there is a break in between in the Mughal dynasty. After Humayun, in between there is a break. Then for a brief period, Sher Shah Suri, he is the ruler for some time. He is the emperor. And again, Humayun at that time runs to Persia. He goes to Iran. There he forms some alliances. And again, he comes back. Again, he comes back and takes back the throne from Sher Shah Suri. So Humayun, there is a break. You have Humayun period, then you have Sher Shah Suri, and then again you have Humayun. Then he is followed by Akbar. Everybody knows Akbar. So Akbar is well known for many things, especially his religious policy and also his strong military achievements. And Akbar has married many Rajput princes also, so he was very good at fostering alliances between the Hindu and the Muslim community at that time. And also one important point for Akbar is Ibadat Khana, which will come later. It has been asked very frequently. So Ibadat Khana is basically a place where religious scholars from all religions gather together and discuss about various religious aspects. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, everyone. So that is one very important thing regarding Akbar. It shows his religious tolerance policy, and from the exam point of view, Ibadat Khana is very important. Next, you have Jahangir. Okay, Jahangir is very important for few things. He was a very good painter himself, and he was a very great patron of art and music, especially painting. So during Jahangir, there were many great painters, and Jahangir, he used to look at the painting and literally say who was the painter who painted it. So he was such a patron of painting, and he himself was a great painter. And during Jahangir, tobacco was first introduced into India. So that is one point which you have to remember. And it was during Jahangir, Captain Hawkins and Thomas Roe, who were the Britishers who just the Britishers were just coming to India to trade with India. So they came when they have come. The emperor who was there was Jahangir. So they have taken the pharma or the permission from Jahangir to start a factory at Surat. So that is those are few important points which you have to remember from point of view of Jahangir. Jahangir is followed by Shah Jahan. Everyone knows Shah Jahan is well known for Taj Mahal, and Shah Jahan's third son is Aurangzeb. So if you observe here, Aurangzeb deposed his father Shah Jahan because he is not the eldest son. So he captured Shah Jahan. He put him in prison. He put him in a prison where through the window he can see the Taj Mahal and all those things. Most of you are already aware. And anyway, fine. So this is the family tree. You can see Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, etc., followed by Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. These are the more prominent rulers. And after Aurangzeb, you have so many rulers, but they are not very prominent. Their contributions are not very important. So we have already seen the capitals. See, Mughal Empire capitals are also very important. Most of the capitals are here Agra, Delhi, Fatehpur Sikri, and again Agra. So you have to also you can pause this, or if I send the PDF, you can go through. You can see which under which ruler, which is the capital. So Akbar is famous for Fatehpur Sikri, and Akbar has also. It is during the period of Akbar that building a lot of monuments has started. Later on, Shah Jahan had built Taj Mahal, but even during Akbar, you have the Fatehpur Sikri, you have Buland Darwaja, you have several forts, etc., etc. So Akbar is also quite famous for building a lot of monuments. So let us go forward. Okay, we have already seen this. So this is a brief about the list of Mughal emperors. As you can see, Babur, Humayun, and Humayun there is a break. See, Suri dynasty, Sher Shah Suri in between, and Sher Shah Suri's land administration is also quite famous, and that was followed by Akbar for quite some time. And later on, he put aside Sher Shah Suri and he started his own land revenue system, which is called a Dasala system, which has been designed by Raja Todarmal. All these are very important points. So these are the later Mughals. Bahadur Shah, okay, Bahadur Shah 1, and Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar. Farooq Siyar is famous for persecuting Guru Gobind Singh. So those are some important points. And others are more or less you can go through there. And it is around this period, Alamgir, Shah Jahan, I mean Shah Alam too. It is during this period the British were fighting for supremacy. No, if you look at the advent of Europeans part of the syllabus, you'll be getting a clarity. So the British would support one part, and the French would support another group, and there would be frequent wars, etc. So it was, and Bahadur Shah, as you can see, up until 1857. So he was the nominal ruler. After the revolt of the 1857, Bahadur Shah was arrested and he was sent to Rangoon. So he was already 80 plus 82 years of age at that time. But because you can see that after the Sepoy Mutiny in 1857, people had nowhere to go. So at that time, the Mughal Empire was just declining. So they had the Mughal Empire in mind. So they went to Bahadur Shah too and asked him to become the emperor. So after the revolt was crushed, he was captured and sent to Rangoon. It's an unfortunate incident, but that's what happened. Next. So this you can see how the rise of the Mughal Empire has happened. I've already told you Babur during the first battle of Panipat, 1526. This everybody has to remember. There are three battles of Panipat: first battle, second battle, and third battle. And first battle is very important because that was the where the Mughal dynasty has been established. Okay, and under Akbar, the Mughal Empire reached its peak. So these things I'll be sending the PDF, or you can pause and write down important points. So I'll be going through the PDF a little bit fast so that we'll cover it in a short span of time. Anything important I'll be telling you, you can note down. So again, Babur is a descendant of Genghis Khan. Okay, most of you are aware of Genghis Khan. He's a Mongol, and at that point of time, during the Delhi Sultanate period, especially during Iltutmish and all, we'll cover it in depth at the Delhi Sultanate lecture. But Genghis Khan at that time was very powerful emperor. He was conquering all of the Central Asia, etc., and the current day Uzbekistan, everything. So Babur was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. And you can see at the age of 21 itself, he became a ruler of a small kingdom. And then he was invited from India during the Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi. The governor of Ibrahim Lodi invited Babur to attack India. And in the Battle of Panipat 1526, he had defeated Ibrahim Lodi and established a Mughal dynasty. Now let's see the next one. So also you can see Babur was a skilled commander, etc. And these things are important. These books which they write, the Babur Nama, okay? Autobiography of Babur is Babur Nama, and you have Jahangir Nama, and Akbar, you have Akbar Nama. So, and also you have a book called Aini Akbari. Okay, these are books and famous poets like Amir Khusro, Abul Fazal, etc. These will come later on in the chapter. These are very important. Who has written what books? And Babur Nama is an autobiography written by Babur himself. So it contains the details about his life and his campaigns, etc. So it is very important from that point of view. And he died at the age of 47. And next, Humayun. As we have already seen, Humayun. So Humayun is the follower. And also we have seen that initially Humayun was but after the Battle of Kannauj, which is again very important, in 1540, he was defeated by the Afghan ruler Sher Shah Suri. So if you observe at that time, the Delhi Sultanate, everyone was Turkish in origin. The slave dynasty, the Tughlaq dynasty, Lodi dynasty, sorry, not the Lodis, Sayyid dynasty, etc., etc. They are all Turkish in origin. The Lodi dynasty was Afghan in origin, and by the time it came to Mughal, most of the nobles, there was an intermix. There were Afghans, there were Indian Muslims, and there were Turkish nobles, etc., etc. So during his exile, he formed alliances with various rulers in Iran and Central Asia. And after forming those alliances, he came back to India and conquered the throne again with that help. And again, the second phase of second reign of Humayun has started. And obviously, it is common with all the emperors. They frequently face, whenever the people or the local landlords sense a certain insecurity or weakness, there are always going to be some form of rebellion or revolt. So similarly, Humayun, when he came back, he faced significant challenges governing the Mughal Empire, etc., etc. There was political instability. Anyway, he was succeeded by his son Akbar. Akbar became the emperor at a very young age of 13 years. Okay, so Bairam Khan was the regent of Akbar. You have to remember that point because he was very young. Bairam Khan was appointed as a regent of Akbar. So he became at just the age of 13. At the age of 13 years old, he ascended the throne. So obviously, consolidating his power when you become at such a young age, everybody tries to assert independence. So, but then Akbar was a very strong emperor himself. So he was able to subdue everything and make a powerful empire. Also, Akbar is famous for arts, patron, religion. He was not just a militarily strong empire. He was also interested in, especially he was very much interested in religion. As I said, the Ibadat Khana. So Akbar is well known for the Ibadat Khana. So he was not a very strict Muslim. He was very tolerant toward non-Muslims. And one thing about Akbar is, in his court, he had many Hindu ministers also. For example, you see Raja Todarmal and Raja Birbal, Raja Mansingh. So we all know about Akbar Birbal stories, right? So Birbal was one of the favorite minister of Akbar. So that religious policy of Akbar is very famous. So and you can see he expanded the empire to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Basically, he made it into a big empire, huge empire, and he was religious, very tolerant. You can see, and he died at the age of 63. And he is called one of the greatest rulers in Indian history, and he had a legacy that would share the Mughal Empire for generations to come. So Akbar is considered one of the greatest empire of the Mughal Empire. Next, we look at Jahangir. So Jahangir, his original name is Salim. So you all would have heard about the Salim Anarkali love story. So that is during the Akbar period. His son is Salim. So later on, when he becomes emperor, he takes the name of Jahangir, etc. So most important thing about Jahangir is, you can say, as I already mentioned, he had several campaigns against Sikhs, Ahoms, Ahmadnagar. It was during the period of Aurangzeb. You can see that there is a direct clash between Shivaji Maharaj. The Maratha Empire had become very strong, and Aurangzeb. But before that also, there was constant clash with the Sikhs, and the Mughal Empire was in constant clash with all these dynasties. So, as I mentioned, Jahangir is more famous for introduction of tobacco and also giving farman to Captain Hawkins and Thomas Roe. So, Shah Jahan, everybody is well aware of Shah Jahan. He is the third son of Jahangir, and his wife is Jahangir's wife is Nur Jahan. Okay, and his name was Prince Khurram. Okay, Jahangir's name was Salim. Okay, and Shah Jahan's name was Prince Khurram. Later on, he adopted the name Shah Jahan, which means the king of the world, and he is best known for Taj Mahal. And his wife is Mumtaz Mahal. So he built Taj Mahal in the memory of Mumtaz Mahal. So Shah Jahan had many other buildings also. We'll see later on. But his most famous building is Taj Mahal. And when it comes to Taj Mahal, you will have to describe, especially when you're writing mains, you'll have to describe about the marble, how it is on a raised platform, the four minarets, the arch and dome construction, and also the Petra Dura technique, which will come later on. I will put some pictures also. So basically, inside the marble, you make designs, floral designs with precious stones, etc. So, and also the Mughal architecture, generally you see red sandstone, and also later on you see marble construction. So those are very, and during this time there is a more emphasis on art, music, literature, etc., etc. So Shah Jahan was also very powerful ruler at that time, because at that time the Mughal Empire was well established. He was able to focus more on building this Taj Mahal, etc., everything. So as we have seen, Aurangzeb captured, he deposed his father and became the emperor and put him in a prison in the Agra fort. And from the window, he could see the Taj Mahal. He spent the last days in prison itself. And the next comes Aurangzeb, who is, you can say, the last powerful ruler of the Mughal Empire. So you can see there was a power struggle, and he was able to subdue everyone else and become and he was also a strict adherence to Islamic law. So because of that, he was not very popular with the masses, because the masses were always Hindu, and he tried to apply strict Sharia law, and he also imports jizya. Jizya is the tax which the non-Muslims have to pay in order to follow their religion. And he was also famous for his military campaigns, and he had a frequent clash with Marathas, the Mewar kingdom, and Sikh Guru Gobind Singh. Okay, he even persecuted Guru Gobind Singh. So you have to remember which Sikh Guru was persecuted by which. You have Guru Gobind Singh, you have Banda Bahadur Singh, etc., etc. Those things are also very important from the exam point of view. Sorry. Okay. So despite his military victories, his reign was marked by economic decline. So obviously, when there is more wars, you can see that you'll have a decline in economy and political stability. There was widespread rebellion, and he also imposed jizya tax on Hindus. Okay, and he also did. There was destruction of temples, etc. He died at the age of 88. Okay, 1707. So starting from 1526 to 1707 is the proper Mughal period, and later on the Mughal period started declining and it ended at 1857. So his legacy is often overshadowed by strict religious policies. Okay, that he's not very popular with the masses because of his strict religious policies. And these are the later Mughals. After the death of Aurangzeb, most of these Mughals are what you say, they are for very short period and they are not very strong rulers. So Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar. So if you observe Farooq Siyar, he persecuted Banda Singh Bahadur. That is one thing which you have to think. Farooq Siyar is famous for persecuting this Banda Singh Bahadur. So again, Muhammad Shah, Ahmad Shah Bahadur, they're all small for a very short period and they were in frequent conflict. And during this period, Shah Jahan to Alamgir, etc., and Shah Alam too. At this time, the British had well established by then in the Indian subcontinent, and they were supporting one party against the other, and there were frequent wars. And Bahadur, Bahadur,